Hello everybody, my name is Fizzing Bob and welcome to my channel. So, after playing Minecraft for a little while, you will start getting chests full of different items. And when you want to find something, it takes an age to actually look in every single chest to find what you're looking for. The next stage would to be separate the items into groups and then place them into common chests. Doing this by hand can be very tedious. Now, there is a way to automate this process, and in today's episode, we will be building an automatic sorter, and I'll explain how it works. Okay, let's get some stuff out of the chest. Let's take the items. We need some brick blocks. We need to get some droppers. We need some hoppers as well. And we need some redstone repeaters, some comparators, some redstone dust. Yep, that will do. And we need some chests, and we need some stairs as well. And also, don't forget the torches as well. There we go. Right, let's crack on. Let's play by placing the dropper down, and in this format it's 4x4 out, and it's just there. So we place the dropper so it's pointing in the up direction. We then place down the comparator, if I can find it. There it is. And then a block. Then we place down a repeater. And then we join the repeater up with the comparator like so with redstone dust. We come off here and then we place another repeater there. And then what we want to do is put some hoppers down by right clicking and shift at the same time and into the dropper like so. We need 2 of those, and then we place the hopper again by holding down shift and right mouse button, and so that will then feed items into the dropper. Right, so now we need to build the column. This column is a 3x3 block. So we build the column up to the level of the hoppers that feed into the sorter. Right, so once we've built the column, we then want to place the chest that we're going to deposit all the items into. In this example, we're going to use 4 chests to store the items like so. Once the chest is in place, we want to place down 4 blocks behind them with a space in between the chest and the block. On the front of 3 of the blocks, we place the redstone torches. Take the block of choice and we place it on top of the first redstone. We then subsequently add another 3 blocks in a row. Next, we fill in the gap here with another 4 blocks. We then take some redstone repeaters and place them behind the first 3 blocks. We then add another row of blocks above the repeaters, and then also another row of blocks behind the repeaters. What we need to do is place down the comparators. So we go to the chest end again, and facing out, we place 3 comparators down. Okay, we join the comparators up with redstone dust. We then take the redstone dust and add more to the line behind, and then also on the step below. We then put hoppers feeding into the chests like so. Then mount upside down stairs above the chests and attach to the hoppers. This allows you to open up the chests and hides the hoppers behind the stairs. Put another row of blocks here in front of the hoppers like so. We then place another row of hoppers that feed into the blocks. We place the blocks round the last hopper like so. We then want to feed the next row of hoppers into this end block. going to have to remove some of the stone here. So now we're going to place some more blocks around here just to encompass the hoppers. So we need some water. Place the water on this back of the block here. So we place blocks on top of the column to ensure that the items being fired up from the dropper does not go everywhere. Okay, so the next stage is to set up the middle hopper to filter out everything except the item that needs to be deposited into the chest below. To set up the filter, we need to click on the middle hopper and place the items into each slot. This can be done by selecting the item that you want from your inventory. Whilst pressing right click, run the item across the hopper inventory itself. What you'll see here is that each hopper will be filled with one item. So what we need to do now is fill in the second inventory space of the hopper with 18 of the items. And in the first inventory space we need to fill with 24 items. This is then repeated for the other two filter hoppers, like so. If you get one block in the wrong place, just simply take it out and fill it up. But here you notice that by placing these items into the hopper, they are not being dropped down into the chest below at this stage because redstone torch has locked the hopper and is not allowing anything through. Do it to this one here. So what we need to do at the front is to add the item frames so we know what is going to be inside the chest. I'm going to use a bucket of water to illustrate a trash can. We're done. So that should be everything set up and ready to go for this example. Time to dump everything into the chest from the inventory. Let's just dump that, that and that. There we go. You can hear the dropper going off and that's pushing everything into the column block. Let's check the chest. There's nothing there yet. Nothing there. Oh, there's something there. Excellent. Nothing in that one yet. So as you can see, the items are now coming through the sorter and into the chest down here. Look, there we go. You can see it's filling up quite nicely. And that's it, it's finished. It's finished dispensing all the items and everything's in the chests. So that's the end of the build section of this tutorial. What I'd like to do, if you're interested, is that the next section of this tutorial will look at the circuit in more depth. So we're going to break the circuit into two sections. The first one is the item elevator circuit, and the second one is the automatic sorter circuit. So let's start off with the item elevator circuit. So what we have here is a comparator that detects an item in the dropper, which sends the signal through the block into the repeater, and then the signal is then passed through the redstone dust and into the second repeater, which then activates the dropper to fire an item out. At the same time, the signal comes out of the first repeater and goes into the side of the comparator. This shuts off the signal, leaving the comparator that goes into the first repeater. This creates a one-shot signal to the dropper. So what we're going to do now is put some items in the chest, and as you can see now the circuit's working. So as you can see, the comparator is detecting the item in the dropper. This is then firing up the repeater, the first repeater, which sends a signal into the second repeater, which then activates the dropper. But as you can see here, the second repeater is activated before the signal goes into the side of the comparator. What we have here is two types of sorting circuits. Both do exactly the same thing, but the one on the left is a more compact design, but the one on the right is the one that's been used in the tutorial. I'll explain why I use that in a moment. So let's look at the one on the right, the one we use in the tutorial. As you can see here, we have the stack of hoppers with the middle hopper as the filter, and as you can see it already has got the stone blocks in there. So here the comparator is on because it's detected the items within that middle hopper. As you can see, the signal does not go down to the repeater and the redstone torch is on. But if we put some blocks into the top hopper, what we'll see now is that the signal coming from the comparator is going down to the repeater, and you can see the repeater is flashing on and off. This subsequently turns off the redstone torch, which allows then the items to fall into the chest, like so. The redstone torch, when on, locks the hopper and stops items from flowing to the chest. When the repeater turns on, this turns off the redstone torch, which opens the hopper and allows items to flow through to the chest. Moving on to the second sorter design, you can see that it is a more compact circuit, but it works identically to the first sorter circuit. Let's put some items into the chest. With items in the chest, you can see that the comparator is detecting that the items within the hopper, and with the signal then feeds onto the repeater, which turns off the redstone torch and allows items to flow into the chest, and for the other circuit. So the reason why I didn't use this circuit within the design was that in the past I have had problems that occasionally the items in the filter hopper drains out into the chest, as where with the one I used for the tutorial I have never had that problem. So that's the end of this tutorial. This is only just part one of a sort of automatic sorter system, and I hope to return with a second video going through another design that uses a bubble elevator items transporter. This design will allow you to use in a mine shaft because it allows you to have multiple entries into the elevator that feeds onto the sorter. So if you've liked this video, please leave a like in the bottom. If you really enjoy the tutorials that I'm doing and the content I'm making on this channel, then please subscribe and click on the bell, and you'll be notified every time I release a new video. As I've mentioned before, I would like to release another video tutorial on the sorter system, and I'd also like to be able to show more Minecraft content on this channel in the up and coming days and weeks. So please leave feedback in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the video and if you have any questions. I'd also like to know if there is anything that you'd like me to cover in these tutorials, whether it is a farm or a redstone contraption. Please let me know in the comments. Well, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care. Bye bye.